Alright guys, welcome back. It is I, Crown Fiend, coming at you guys with a different type of video today. We got my first ever Shield Hero What If, something that I have been wanting to do for a little bit now. And unfortunately this is not going to be a movie, because if I was to keep going at the rate of which, because this part is only going to cover the first episode of Shield Hero, and it's already like in the 20 minutes long. So just imagine the movie trying to cover like a series that has 24 episodes so far. So I'm gonna make this come in parts. Otherwise I would be here till, you know, March before you guys got another video. So yeah, and I'm wanting to pump out content a lot faster now, so I am gonna start picking up the pace with series. So look forward to that. And we actually had a tie vote. So this video will be a tiebreaker. Let me know in the comments down below, do you want What If Naruto was raised by Yahiko? Or do you want What If Kakashi died instead of Obito? First, to start off with the Naruto What Ifs. So with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Drama. Yeah, I've been running and running to keep it 100, it's all that I wanted. But lately I don't get the stomach. The higher the summit, the harder the plummet. They know me all over this planet. I'm just a man and I can't understand it. Proud that I win and I did it myself. Probably wouldn't if I got the help. Hearing subliminals all on myself. Feel like I'm breaking, I'm falling to hell. Told me I'm sick and I tell her, oh well. Rather be dead than to know that I failed. Live for the chase, life is a race. I'm out of space, so me get on my face. I got a taste, well the whole play finna get laced if you step out of place.
Long ago, in the days of old, there were 4 cardinal heroes: the sword, the spear, and the bow, and the shield. However, unknown to most and forgotten by all but a few, there was indeed a 5th hero. That hero was called the Mage Hero. However, the Mage Hero was betrayed by 3 of the 4 other heroes. The Shield Hero tried to help, but was powerless to stop the other 3 on his own. When the dust settled, the Mage Hero was dead and the Shield Hero captured. Well, this is your basic light novel here, Naofumi would say, as he turns the page, thinking that this book seems kinda basic, but maybe it'll get better. Once he turns the page, he sees it's blank, and the next thing he knows, he sees himself in a castle of some kind. Looking back, he sees 3 other people behind him, one with a sword, a bow, and a spear. Thinking to himself that he has to have the shield, looking down to his surprise, he doesn't see a shield, but instead, he has a ring on his left pinky finger. Before he can ask any questions, the summoners in the court begin to ask for their help. Naofumi, smiling, thinks to himself, and there it is, just like your classic isekai story. The summoners would then begin to explain the situation about the waves of catastrophe and the hourglass to the 4 heroes. The king would then ask the name of the sword, bow, and spear heroes. The sword hero would say his name is Amaki Ren, age 16. The bow hero would announce his name as Kawasumi Itsuki, age 17. And finally, the spear hero would say boastfully that his name is Kitamura Motoyasu, age 21. The king would then glare at Naofumi, noticing that he wasn't the shield hero. However, he was the more vile mage hero. I will hear your name as well, hero, the king would say coldly. Itawani Naofumi, age 20, Naofumi answered. Then, all confirmed their statuses, with the other heroes taking jabs at Naofumi for not being able to instantly get it, with Ren saying it's a basic VR MMO, and asking if Naofumi ever played any. No, I haven't. I got here through a book, Naofumi would say. Sucks for you then, Motoyasu would remark. The king would then introduce people to the heroes, saying that they are people who have volunteered to join them on their journey. Now then, choose the hero that you will accompany, the king declared. Nobody would choose to go with Naofumi. To his shock, with the other heroes looking at him smirking. Itsuki would even laugh a little. Naofumi wondered why nobody would choose him, thinking, great, first day in this new world and I'm already the least popular. The king would say that is the mage hero's fault for currying little favor amongst others. It's just that a mage isn't usually that good. They're mainly support roles and don't really last that long. In other words, they die first, Motoyasu would say. Itsuki would immediately agree with Motoyasu's words. However, one person would end up volunteering to team up with Naofumi. She would introduce herself as Mine Sophia. The heroes would then be set free to begin their journey. Naofumi would be given 800 silver coins to start his journey with, as Mine would take him to Elhart's shop. While there, Naofumi would learn that he was unable to use any other weapons due to the ring blocking it. They would then spend their money on getting some new clothes for Naofumi and a full set of armor and gear for Mine. Naofumi would wear black pants with a brown shirt and brown trench coat with black boots, while Mine would be getting geared up. Naofumi would look at his skill menu after asking about it, seeing that his only available skill was Transmute, with the limitations that it could only be used on the environment to a small degree. Mine would then ask if they should go level up. Naofumi said that it'd be hard for him to level since he can't do it the normal way. He only has one skill that he won't be able to use in battle. Mine would then get a devilish grin on her face, saying that there's a special place where Naofumi would be able to level up easier. However, it would be an afternoon's walk. Naofumi would agree and they would begin walking to the spot. Once they arrived, Naofumi would see the cave. As he walked in a little bit more, he'd see a huge drop-off. Naofumi would then turn around to see Mine push Naofumi backwards, with him falling into the hole. The mage hero is not needed here, you devil, Mine would say before running away, taking all of Naofumi's belongings with her. While falling, only one thought crossed Naofumi's mind. Am I gonna die here? Naofumi would hit the ground alive, but hurt. Getting up, he looked around, wondering if there was a way out. He'd then notice a giant monster, one that looked an awful lot like a rabbit, except it was all white with red eyes. Two wolves then appeared around it, looking ready to jump at the rabbit. The wolves then discharged purple lightning. However, the rabbit easily dodged these moves, making quick work of one of the wolves after it jumped on what looked to be pure air and using an attack to slice it in half. Suddenly, a huge bear appeared behind the rabbit, and the rabbit, noticing this, would attempt to run away from the bear. However, it's killed when the bear's claws unleash some energy, and then an attack of an energy blade swerved, cutting the rabbit in half. Naofumi, seeing all of this, would scream out, attracting the bear's attention. As Naofumi would attempt to run away, the bear would then throw an attack at Naofumi, cutting his right arm clean off. The bear would then eat Naofumi's arm right in front of him, as Naofumi would then have his back against a wall and would immediately, on instinct, use Transmute to open a hole, allowing him to back up deeper into a cave of his own making, while also using Transmute to create walls in front of him to prevent the bear from attacking further. Naofumi would then hit an opening, falling in and pass out from exhaustion. When he awoke, he noticed he was laying in water. His arm wound had closed up, and he looked back and saw that he had full HP. Looking around, he'd see a blue crystal shining and dripping into the water Naofumi was in. How could this be happening to me? What did I do that was so wrong? Am I gonna die here? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Naofumi would think back to the king smiling when Mine volunteered to join him. They planned this from the beginning. They wanted me dead. Naofumi would say to himself before hearing his stomach growl. I'm gonna survive this, and then I'm gonna find a way back home. This world can go to hell for all I care. Naofumi would say as he opened his skill menu, this time trying to use transmute to make himself a weapon. He's able to make a spear, and this time the rings allowed him to use it. Naofumi realizes that as long as he's the one who makes the weapon, the ring should allow him to use it, since it came from the ring in the first place. Naofumi then comes up with a plan, realizing that he needs to be tactical with his hunting, since, after all, his stats are currently level 1 and 10 in each attribute, except for magic, which has about 30 points in it. So he makes a plan to lure the wolf in and trap it. Naofumi makes a hole, and then puts his plan into motion, which works. After the wolf comes falling down into the hole, Naofumi would stab it with the spear, killing it, along with dropping rocks on top of it to further crush it. Naofumi notices his level jump up to about level 8 after killing it. Naofumi then feeds a piece of the wolf to his ring, since he noticed it reacted when the wolf was near. As he would notice that after doing so, he has several new skills unlocked, those being mana manipulation, which allows him to freely direct the manipulation of mana without need for an incantation or to say any spell's name. The next skill he'd unlock would be lightning field, which would allow him to produce a lightning field around his body. However, it wouldn't allow him to expel it directly from his body, but could be redirected if channeled correctly. The final skill Naofumi would unlock would be language comprehension, which would allow him to understand and translate all languages of this world. Naofumi would then cook the wolf's meat and then bite into it. However, he immediately noticed something was wrong, as he would feel that his body was being ripped apart from the inside, falling into the water. Then Naofumi would see a pop-up on his screen, reading that monster mutation complete, new skill acquired. The skill would be Iron Stomach, which allows him to adapt to eating monster meat instead of dying. Naofumi would also notice that his stats had made a huge jump. His stats after eating the monster meat were now 100 in strength, 300 in vitality, 100 in defense, 200 in agility, 900 in both magic and magic defense. This was a huge jump before his stats would only go up by 2 points for every level, so this was amazing to Naofumi. He noticed that his body was now way more muscular and enhanced. Naofumi would also notice that he could now tell what each and every ore was by just touching it, along with other subclass skills coming from transmute now being unlocked. With that knowledge, he began to construct a weapon that he knew would be the strongest in this world. He made a 6-shot revolver and called it Donner. Along with Donner, he'd also make several grenades and flashbangs as well. Naofumi would begin making his way out of the cavern, coming across the rabbit monster that would be shot by 1 round of Naofumi's gun, which used the lightning field as the catalyst and an ore called Blast Rock that, when superheated, rivals even the highest tier fire spell. That was the gunpowder that made his bullets. 1 shot was all it took for him to kill the monster. And of course, he leveled up to 15 and his stats increased by a 4.3 times multiplier. The new skills he acquired from the rabbit were Airwalk, Air Dance, which allows him to move at high speeds. The next skill would be Aerodynamics, which allows him to create small plates of compressed air to use as footholds while up in the sky. The next skill is called Flash Step, which allows him to move at supersonic speeds. Then Steel Legs, which allows him to reinforce his legs and increase his striking power and kicks. The final skill would be called Rift Walk, which allows him to move at extremely high speeds and strengthens all of his senses so he can properly focus and process everything at those speeds. Naofumi now thinks it's time to say hello to an old friend while gripping his arm. Naofumi then finds the bear monster and confronts him head on. As the two begin their fight, Naofumi can't get a good shot to connect as the bear lashes out. Naofumi would use Aerodynamics to evade the attacks, then fire off a shot that hits the bear in the arm. Naofumi would then land and use the blood trail as a conductor to channel his lightning field in, which would lead back, cooking the bear alive, killing it. I'm strong enough to survive now. Once I eat this bear, I'll be heading back to the surface, and anyone who gets in my way is dead, Naofumi would say to himself. First things first, though, I should probably make a replacement for my arm. Only having one arm would be too much of a handicap. Sure, it's only been a week, but who knows how much stronger people have gotten in that time. Naofumi would say to himself, seeing that his level was now 19, going through his new skills that he acquired from the bear, he would get some rest before looking for a way out. While doing so, he had seen many more monsters and killed them all, as well as gaining new, unique skills from each and every one of them, before coming to an underground exit. This would only take Naofumi an extra week to do. His final level would be around 80. His skill tree would be another story entirely, as he also crafted other weapons as well. However, a menu would pop up to Naofumi saying, unique skill unlocked. Surprised to see that there was a unique skill, Naofumi would open the menu to see creation magic unlocked. The skill allowed Naofumi to freely manipulate every aspect of inorganic materials, which finally allowed him to use his new arm that he had made but was never able to use beforehand. Suddenly there was a bright flash of light, and Naofumi was transported back to the area he started at with mine 2 weeks ago. Clouds started to form and rain started to fall as Naofumi headed back to the town. He wanted revenge, and he was going to get it. Once he arrived back in town, he realized that he didn't have any cash. However, he knew how he could get some. Naofumi then started going towards Elhart's shop. Once there, Elhart had to make a double take to believe that it was Naofumi. Kid, are you the mage hero? Elhart asked. Who else would I be? The shield hero? Naofumi remarked. You don't get it, do you, kid? Mine said you attacked her, and she pushed you off and you fell down some cavern, Elhart explained. What a load of bullshit. I never laid a finger on that bitch, Naofumi said. I believe you, kid. You didn't look like the type to do that. However, the king has declared you dead, Elhart replies. Tell me everything that happened in these past 2 weeks, Naofumi said. Elhart would then explain how mine had come to Motoyasu, saying that you assaulted her and that she has barely been able to get away. Then how the kingdom issued a search for him. Then after a week, they announced him dead. Before anything else could be said, a group of armed guards from the castle burst into Elhart's shop, surrounding Naofumi, demanding that he come with them. I'll go with you, all right. Take me to the king, now, Naofumi ordered. Do you think you can make demands? A guard would say before being shot in the head by Naofumi, saying, I wasn't asking. All the other guards would obey Naofumi's orders, taking him before the king. The king would see Naofumi and be startled, asking if it was really the mage hero. Yeah, it's me. I had to climb my way back up from hell, Naofumi answered. The other heroes would enter, seeing Naofumi now with white hair and red eyes. However, after hearing his voice, they were sure it was him. Motoyasu immediately tried to rush Naofumi, but stopped in his tracks once he saw that Naofumi had a gun pointed right at him. How do you have a gun? Motoyasu asked. I'm not entitled to answer that question. Until my questions have been answered, I'm not answering anything, Naofumi stated. Naofumi would then glare at the king. Why are the other heroes here? This doesn't concern them, Naofumi would say. They're here as my protection, of course, the king replied. Naofumi would then ask, okay, second question then. Who is spreading false rumors about me all over the kingdom? The king would then reply, saying rumors, more like factual charges against you for what you did against my daughter. That's when Mine would enter the room and her true identity would be revealed. My daughter's the first princess, Malti S. Melremark, who goes by Mine as an adventurer, the king would state. What charges are you accusing me of? Naofumi would ask. You assaulted me, mage hero. Don't even try to deny it, Malti would yell. Then show me the evidence against me. I never even touched you, Naofumi would declare. What reason would she have to lie about that? Motoyasu would say. Hold on there, Motoyasu. I would like to see the evidence against Naofumi before I make my judgment, Ren would pipe up saying. There is no evidence, is there? Naofumi would ask. My daughter's word is evidence enough for me, the king said. That may be enough for you. However, it isn't enough for me, Ren would say. Why are you making a big deal about this, Ren? The king said nothing against us, Itsuki would say. You are correct. However, he did say Naofumi was certainly dead, and that it was a fact. Yet here he stands before us. Ren would reply and continue saying, when it comes to Naofumi, the king seems to rather be on edge and harbor a lot of hate towards him. Enough of this. My word is final, and I say that he is guilty. Guards, seize him! The king yelled. Before anyone could move, Naofumi shot the wall beside the king's head. The guards stood still, sweating. The king then turned as pale as a ghost. That was your one warning shot. I'm not going to stay around here too long. Once I gather up enough supplies, I'm leaving this country. And anyone who gets in my way is dead. He wasted your one warning shot. Naofumi would say as he walked out of the castle. The king would tell Ren, the mage hero is prone to violence, and he has just made an attempt on my life, as you just witnessed. In the future, he may try to rebel against me. Will you protect me and this kingdom? The king would ask. Of course I will, Your Majesty. And that's the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you have, consider subscribing, like the video, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video, and enjoy this more of a little bit of a sneak peek at one of my more interesting what ifs coming out. Anyway, have a blessed rest of your day, guys. Peace.